Hey, this is Todd. Let's talk building a story brand part three. Deeper dive into our story framework where we have a hero who encounters a villain. Luckily, there's a guide there with a plan and is willing to call them to adventure. They either succeed or they fail and are miserable. Throughout the entire process, they go through a transformation. Today, we're going to talk about the guide with a plan and they call them to adventure. So, who is our guide in every classic tale? You have a hero that is just wrestling with doubt, doesn't think they can do it, but there's a guide there to say, I've got you, I know what it's like, and I'll help you through this. And a great guide, there's two core attributes that they have, and they just ooze these throughout their engagement with our hero. The first is empathy. You can't fake empathy, you either have it or you don't. And that means that we as marketers, we need to stop losing sleep about our success or our campaign or anything like that. And we need to start losing sleep about their problems and their success. When we do this, then our empathy is going to naturally flow into our communication. And that means we're going to know what it's like to be in their shoes because we have wrestled with these problems just like they have. Just think of that. You have a guide who is full time wrestling with your problems. Like, that's got to make them feel really good that somebody knows what it's like. But we can't just assume that they'll read our brains, our minds. We've got to tell them that we understand. That means in our marketing materials, we use phrases like, hey, we understand what it feels like to go through X. Or, you know what? Nobody should have to experience Y. We start trickling these through our communication naturally. But we can't just be all heart. We also have to convey authority. That means we've been here before. Authority doesn't mean power, it simply means competence. We know what it's like and we can help. And we can show that as marketers through awards, statistics, logos, and testimonials. Let's take a look at some of these. So here we have some sites here to say, hey, we've been here before. Look at the results, the stats that show that we can do this. Hey, you're not the first person to trust us. Look at all these other brands. They all believe in us. And you know what? The industry itself, they've given us some awards. But you don't have to take our word for it. Here we have some nice videos from some of our customers, and video testimonials are especially authentic and effective. So we are a guide that knows what it's like, and we are a guide that actually can help. And that is an effective guide. But not just that, it's not just what we've done, it's our custom plan for the customer. This plan is what says, you know what? This competent guide is now right here with you, and I'm going to eliminate confusion and eliminate fear with a plan. And all of our epic tales, there's a part where they're creating a plan and they say, we've got a roadmap to success. Imagine our customer on the side of a bank of a flowing river, and they're confused. They say, I don't know how to get on the other side. And we need to map out a nice, simple, some stepping stones on how to get to that other side. This is called a process plan. Process plan eliminates confusion. And one of the best practices for laying out a process plan is to number that plan. And let me show you some examples. Here's Squarespace. They say, you know what? 1, 2, 3. Here's our plan. It's so simple to get started. And then here's the things you got to do. And then you're going to be killing it. Here's your roadmap. Tableau does the same thing. Theirs is a 4-step plan. Hey, and even if you've got 65 steps in your plan, simplify it to just 3 or 4 or 5. And just like Slack does here, hey, you're going to sign up, invite your coworkers, and then try it out. It's that simple. This helps them know, it's clear. I know exactly what I've got to do to get from where I'm at to be fully engaged on this adventure and to overcome these obstacles. That is your process plan. The problem is our customer isn't just worried about how do I get to the other side. They've got these lingering voices in their mind to say, what if these steps don't work? I'm going to go plunging off the edge. So imagine them looking at a waterfall just downstream. This is the fear of the unknown and what I like to call the funk. This is the funk that we've got to eliminate from the minds of our customers. And this is, oh, if I download this app and try my first shift, it's going to be a nightmare. Or if I bring in some clinicians with this app, this is just going to get chaotic and it's going to get confusing and I'm going to be miserable. This is them going from zero to worst case scenario, very quickly in their mind. And there's a simple technique to help alleviate this. And this is an agreement plan. This is where we're going to make a promise with you that things are going to be okay. And our process plan, we numbered that. In this case, we want to name it, give it a name. And I'll just show you a bunch of examples and you'll see them all over. But here we have our ironclad guarantee. We've given it a name. Here's our best price guarantee. What about reliability or the perfect fit promise? And I love this one. It's the happiness guarantee. You see how they're trying to eliminate this. They're saying, look, we're gonna throw everything we can at this to make sure we'll do whatever it takes so that you don't go over that ledge. So we have a guide who has a plan, and this guide then has the guts to say, you know what, it's time to get out there and get started on the adventure. This guide calls them to action. In all of our epic tales, we have a guide there that says, hey, it's time to get going and it's time to do the right thing. A best practice here is a simple CTA. You see them on websites, you see them on emails, you see them on ads, but rather than just your primary CTA, you have a secondary. This is one to say, so imagine them in our customer funnel and say, hey, we can get you right to that end and we can close this deal. Let's get going right now. Oh, you're not quite ready for that? Well, how about we date for a little bit longer? That's a transitional CTA. Let's transition them from one stage of the funnel to another if they're not ready to close the deal. Some examples of this: start your free trial now. Oh, you're not ready for that? Well, don't worry. You can just go and get a personal tour. Maybe that's good enough for now. Get started or view a demo. Or here's a great example right here where you're seeing all kinds of best practices. Try for free. Let's get started, where you jump in there and set up your account and give it a try. Or, you know what, we'll just give you a demo. And then here you see, oh, they're also adding a bunch of awards that they've had and a bunch of logos here. So you see all of these best practices from a guide. You're the hero. We're here to call you to action. We've got credibility, and we're here to help you out. So we have our hero that is encountered a villain. We are a guide with empathy that actually has competence. We know what we're doing, and in fact, so much so that we have a plan for you. It's either a process plan to get from here to there, or it's a plan that's going to eliminate any of your fears, and we are going to call you to adventure. And you're going to see this in our brand script where we identify for our nurses and for our directors of nursing exactly how the guide is there to help, what the plan is, and how they should actually call them to action based off where they're at in the sales cycle. So that is essentially it. I hope that was helpful, and next time will be our final lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you.